Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oliver Ibbotson. I'm a New Zealander, and I'm going to be your MC this afternoon. First off, I'd just like to thank everyone for making the time to be here this afternoon, for taking the time to learn a bit more about this program, and hopefully learning a bit more about your future. In the first part of this session, we're going to give you a brief introduction to the GMBA program. Basically, we're going to tell you the selling points of the program, why you should be doing it, and how it can benefit you, and how you can be part of the team. In the second part of the program, we're looking to hear from other GMBA students, current MBA students, and GMBA alumni, and hear how the program has impacted them. And for the third part of the program, we're going to be having a more informal networking event outside where we'll be serving you some refreshments and giving you the opportunity to ask us those questions you were too afraid to ask in a public setting. So without further ado and all those cliches, let me introduce our first speaker today. Our first speaker is our Dean of College of Management, Professor Hu Xing-yang, who will give our opening. So, Dean, please. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming today. And I think that before the director will speak more into detail about this program, I will only share some of my thoughts on this GMBA program. Okay. And the first thing I would like to talk a little bit about is why do you want to come back to campus? Okay, you all have working experience for several years. And it's very busy, I believe, both in your work and also probably personal life. So why make such a big decision and coming back to school and spend a lot of time in campus again? Okay, and we know that the world changes so fast nowadays. There are things that the trend is very clear over the past several years. For example, the machine learning, artificial intelligence. I mean, there seems to be more and more things that can be done by the computers rather than human beings. Okay, so I think luckily that I will be retiring in several years. But I think for you guys that one thing probably will come up into your mind is, well, am I going to be replaced by a computer or system some days? Okay, so the human capital seems to be more and more important nowadays than 10 years ago. Okay, so I think that coming back to campus is one way to improve your human capital. And also that over the last 2 years, there are things that we have never imagined that will happen. For example, pandemic, okay? The relation between US and China, okay? And when the world changed so fast, I mean, the only thing we can do is to prepare ourselves and try to decide which way we want to go. Because if we don't make up our own mind, we will be driven by the environment, okay? Then I don't think that will be very nice, okay? And in August 2020, ExxonMobil was replaced in the Dow Jones Index by Salesforce. Okay, ExxonMobil is the original Dow Jones Index composition stock in 1928, starting from 1928. Okay, so after more than 90 years, it was replaced by a computer software company. Okay, it's a change of era, but I think it's just our time. And so, again, we have to decide where we want to go to, okay? So I think that's the one thing that you probably want to consider to come back to campus. Then what what can we provide? Okay, I think NTU GMBA, our GMBA program, is a learning platform. This platform you can learn through two ways. Okay, one is in the classroom, through the formal courses that we provide you a systematic approach to analyze things, a different perspective to understand what happened in the business world. But another approach to learn is through interaction with your classmates and interaction with the students in different cohorts in the program, and also with the alumni. Okay, and you have similar age, okay, you have similar backgrounds, but you have different industry experiences. So I believe there are many things that you can learn from each other. And also from experience, we know that the stimulus from your colleagues can usually bring the best of you. Okay, and the College of Management is the oldest business school in Taiwan, and we have the undergraduate program has more than 70 years history. Okay, our executive MBA program has 25 years history, and even the GMBA program this year is our 15th year. Okay, so we have a huge number of alumni. We have more than 30,000 alumni, and span different industry, okay, different sectors. Okay, so I believe that this alumni network can also provide you a very valuable resources that you can draw from in the future. Okay, so maybe we'll see each other in September in the campus. Okay, wish you have a very good year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean, for reminding us about the emerging threat of imminent technology and about trying to improve our human capital by coming to programs like this. I'd also just like to reflect what the Dean had to say, in that the friendships that you meet in this program are some of the most valuable friendships that you're going to have in your life. Now, to introduce our next speaker is the Associate Dean of College, and is also the director of our GMBA program, Professor Audrey Su. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Oliver, and good afternoon, everyone. Today, I think it's a very very sunny day that to see all of you here, because I think every day we don't know what will happen tomorrow, right? So this becomes a pattern nowadays in the world, and so I think we should feel appreciate that we have the chance to see each other in this venue. So, and I also believe that. Info section plays an important role to make sure that you are choosing the right program for yourself. So thanks very much for coming in person to this venue. And as you see that today we are not just having the office people, and we also have many alumni and also the current student in today's event. So I believe that with all the resources we put in, I believe that we hope that all of you can get what you want, all the information about what you want. And we really think that we don't want you to make the wrong decision. And we want you to come because you believe that this is the program that can help you grow. If you choose, because there are so many MBA programs, not just in NTU or maybe in Taiwan or even in the world. So choosing the right program, I believe is very important for all of you. So the outline of today's agenda is that basically I would like to share some of the value of the MBA and also GMBA. And through this introduction, I also want you to know that who are probably the best people that we hope that we can get. And so what are the, and maybe through this introduction, you can ask yourself, are you, is it a right decision to do MBA or come to GMBA? And so I will have a quick also overview about some student activities and how to apply. But I think that the core of the GMBA, probably the curriculum and also all of the resources that we can provide, may be the information that may be most useful for you. So first of all, normally that the people who come to apply to do GMBA are coming from non-business school in undergraduate. So in fact, a lot of the people, when they want to do the MBA, they need to know why MBA. So this is a quick value about their. I'm using the Welsh, the former CEO of the GE. He used to say that MBA, basically the goal of the MBA is that you want to become a great leaders in all kinds of the organization. So what's the elements, what is the important feature of the leaders? So they are 4E, right? So a great leader, you think about yourself, maybe you don't have these elements now, but you can think about the role model. I think all of us have some role models in your mind who might be a great leader to you, maybe a politician or businessman. So you can try to think what kind of the elements that you think is very attractive to you as a great leader. So 4E represent that one is the energy. So usually that a great leader, usually you need to feel a passion, energy, because you want to learn a lot of things. You are curious for many things. So energy is the number one element. And then you need to have the ability to energize others, right? Not just you are full of energy, you can also try to shift the energy to others and to make people to work together with you, to believe your strategy and to work out the result together. And the other E called edge. Edge means that you are always willing to take challenge. Edge means that when you are close to the edge, it's very likely that some people will just run away because you think that is danger and that is uncertainty, so you don't want to move on. But for a great leader, you probably need to have the courage to show people that you are willing to try to move next. So edge is the third one. And the last one, I believe is the most important, is execution. So there are so many people that they are very good at talk. They know they are very good at building dream. But in fact, it's very sad that you cannot see the results realized because they never execute. So execute is I think, although it's the last one, but I think it's the most important. So think about that. If you want to become a leader, these are 4E. So the 4E, that if you have this 4E, probably that means that you have the potential to be a great leader. So the next question, okay, so this is just, so the next question is, what if I don't have these 4 elements? So now, for example, you may ask yourself, I'm very shy. I don't think I'm willing to take challenge, but I'm trying to learn how to take the challenge, right? And I may not, I have energy, but I never have the ability to energize people, right? So even the next question is that, do you think that a leader is born? If you think that a leader is born, then probably it's too late, this generation, that you become a leader, right? Because since small that you tend to be very shy and you never have that 4 kinds. So according to the Welsh, he believes that leaders are not just born, they are made. They are made. So this is a very important assumption that we need to think about. If all the leaders can be made, then that means that you can build up a make yourself a leader in the future. So that is I think the value of the MBA. So just a quick summary that yesterday theory that most people believe we are born with intelligence, which means that no matter how much you learn or how you work, your intelligence stays the same. That means that before you do MBA, you are not a leader. After the MBA, you will not be a leader because all the intelligence are doomed. That is already doomed when you were born, right? So because if all the goal is to become a leader, so now it's very important that yesterday theory, many people nowadays still believe that it's difficult to change some of the personality or some of the brain composition. So they probably give up trying. Okay. So that is, but today, before I'm go to detail, I would like to share with that. I think that making a great corporate leaders is our responsibility for our GMBA because we believe that all the leader can be made. And so the theory here is that the brain is malleable. So there are two theory, and we are looking for the right-hand people. So that means that every time you work hard, stretch yourself and learn something new, your brain forms new connection, and over time you actually become smarter. So this is the right hand, the theory, and the left hand theory basically believes that too often many students believe the brain is static, leading them to think talent and giftedness are permanent, unchanging personal attributes that automatically bring later success. So, I mean, I don't know who you were, but I hope that after today, no matter you come to GMBA or not, I think that probably you need to know that a lot of scientists, they basically discovered that all the brains is malleable. That means that you can try to stretch your brain. Everyone knows that the exercise can help stretch your muscle. So, but very few people probably know that in fact, brain is like your muscle. In fact, you need to try to exercise your brain. You need to try to stretch your brain. So you still had a very high potential to become a great leader. So, what does the right-hand side theory mean? It means the growth mindset. Okay, so GMBA look for people with or want to become a growth mindset. So a growth mindset. So what does it mean? If I use this one as a comparison, and you maybe you are on the left-hand side. Left-hand side is called fixed mindset. And right-hand side is called growth mindset. So there's a comparison, and then you can have a thought, because we basically, when you talk to our alumni or students, you will figure most of our students that they are full of the growth mindset. So for example, when they are, because in the future, when you come to do the courses, you probably have the job in the daytime, and you also need to come to do your homework. You have a lot of the curriculum that you need to manage, and you also have another social activities you are connected. So that means that you may have a lot of challenges. So there are two possibilities. One is that you avoid challenge. Avoid challenges means that you don't want to join any activity. You just want to finish all the curriculum. So this is the left-hand side. And for the right-hand side is that you need to embrace challenges, because that's the reason you come here. You have a lot of goals. So you need to think how to embrace challenge and how to make sure everything can happen, because that is everything that you originally planned to have. And the second one is that the obstacles that for the left-hand side. So for example, that most of the courses to many students may think too intensive, but you can talk to our students or alumni. All people, in the end, pass and happily. So that means that during the process, you have a lot of obstacles. The thing we are very worried is that you tend to give up. When you have obstacle, you give up. But for the for the people who with a growth mindset, they will persist in the face of the setbacks, right? But because we work together, you are not alone. Everyone are having the same obstacles, and how are you going to conquer this? Okay, and then the next one is that when you see the efforts, you know this is a path to your goal, and so you learn from criticism, and you find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. Okay, so I think that before we go details, I really think nowadays all the big companies, when they in their HR department, same as the GMBA, they are looking for talents with growth mindset. Okay, so maybe you are not having a growth mindset, but you really want to become a growth mindset. And I believe that this is a great place for you to train yourself, because you will find people, for most of people in GMBA are having growth mindset. So you will not feel lonely. You will feel very happy to work together with the peers. Okay, so this is the assumption and it's very important. These are the people that we look for. And now I'm going to go details about GMBA. So what kind of characteristics that GMBA have that allow us to build the great leaders? So I think that we care a lot about 5C. So the 5C means that there are 5 important characteristics. The first one, and it is in the center, it means that it's the most important to me, that is a character. I think being responsible, a leader, CEO is very important than ability. I think if this is always that if you look at, it's very easy to ruin your reputation just in one day or 2 days. You can see a lot of the recent news. You will know that character is always the most important. And I'll go detail about the other characters, okay? So the first one, character, I hope that all of you can remember that it may take 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. So I always talk to people that when you ask people that how you are able to get trust, they usually tell you that it's very difficult to get. What's the most important to get the contract? A lot of time people will say because of trust, not because of the cost. You know, if you get the contract because you are offering the cheap price, that will not sustain. But if you want to do a premium market, for example, for TSMC, he need to choose partners, earn his trust, because it's very dangerous to ruin his reputation if he partner with people that are not good, that are not integrity. Their integrity has an issue. So in this world that is changing, people need to negotiate to make friends with the same level in terms of the integrity. So you may heard of the term called ESG. So ESG, what does it mean? It means that I need to pick people who care about environment, who care about social environment, who care about governance. None of the ESG represent the revenue. ESG all costs money. So why? Because becoming a responsible leader, sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it looks stupid. Sometimes it doesn't look smart. But you build a trust. So trust is the most valuable thing in the world. And it's very difficult to build up. So this is the number one character, responsible leaders. And then this is the main contents about the capability, about our curriculum. So I will talk more about this. So I use, this one is called value chain. If you, most of you probably have an idea, but if you don't, then I can quickly show you that for all kinds of the companies that there's a value chain starting from the upstream co-supplier and then go to your customer. And basically, this is the main body of the operation, right? So perhaps so far, you are working as a function of marketing, or you may work as a function at the R&D, or you may work as a function at the finance. But you are only playing a small role in one of the function. However, one day, in 10 years or maybe in 20 years, you may become the CEO of a company. And this is what we mean, that MBA basically is, our goal is not just train you as a leader in one function. Our goal is training as a leader for maybe a CEO, for a small company or a big company. So if you think about if you are wearing a hat of the CEO, or you are wearing a head of board, or you are working as a director in a company, what kind of decision will you face? I remember that recently when I attend a director meeting that they were discussing about recently in Taiwan, the foreign exchange rate between NT dollar and US dollar is very, very, Taiwan basically NT dollar appreciate so high compared to Korea and Japan. So far it's 27.6. So what's the consequence? The consequence means that with the same level of revenue, of the sales, that this year the revenue drops 7%. Purely because all the contracts is in the US dollar, right? So what to do in the past? 30. $1 US, you have 30 NT. Now, $1 US, only 27. Right? So if you are a company that, because most of the listed company in Taiwan, in particular the manufacturing, their customer mainly coming from the US-based. I mean, all the contract basically is major in the US dollar. So what to do? Because if the currency tend to be so low, 7%. So think about that. If you are the sales, you are the marketing department, you cannot forget the importance of the foreign exchange, right? So and then you will see that the manager, the CEO say what they are trying to do is try to push the supplier. They are going to pay the supplier, even they are in Taiwan, they all pay in US dollar. So that means that when customer give me the US, then I'm going to pay the supplier US as well. So that means that the foreign exchange issue will be transferred to the supplier as well. And then one of the director asks a question: are you sure that the supplier in Taiwan is willing to accept the payment in US? And they say, okay, it's okay. Okay, so this is the way for companies try to reduce the risk, because that so they will not be the only one to suffer from the exchange loss. So what I mean is that it's very important for all the leaders to know the basic knowledge for each function. If you only have the knowledge about one function, it's very difficult to discuss the decision, because most of decision is cross-function. You need to think how I'm going to sort out this foreign exchange issue. This is a big issue for all the companies. So this is just a simple example. So this is the core courses in GMBA. That means that we have the 8 core courses, because we think that this is after these 8 core courses, we probably have a very quick snapshot about all the operation in a company. So this includes that from the supply side, that we have the SOM courses, supply chain management, and also this is our one course, and then we have marketing course. we also have the finance management course and HR course. I remember one recently. There is a guy telling me that there are a lot of the position, vice president. That guy told me if he can choose, they are VP. One VP is in HR, one VP is in finance, right? CFO, HR manager, marketing manager, and R&D manager. He told me if he have the choice, he preferred to do HR manager. And he said, we also asked him the question, why? He said, do you know that a lot of company have the same pay for the same level, VP. And HR is that guy say that he think that HR is it's not so busy as the finance manager. But they are having the same salary. So if he can choose, he prefer to do the HR manager because they are having on the same track. So HR now, in fact, in most of the international company, I think is very important because finding the right people, in fact, is the most important thing for the company. So I would like to use the friend's words that I think he underestimated the value of HR. However, that HR is a function that in fact, most people usually underestimate. So we also care a lot about the HR, and so we also have this kind of R&D, and also so this is the core courses, and so give you an idea that to complete GMBA is very simple. Just finish 39 credits, right? 39 credits, and 8 core courses. Each core course is 3 credits. So it's very easy to finish. As long as you finish all 8 core courses, so they are already 24 credits, right? So 39 credits, you will get plus a thesis, you will get a degree. So 39 minus 24, that means you only need 15 more elective courses, right? So this is the core, which means everyone is mandatory. And these are elective. Every year we have quite many elective courses, so you can choose. For example, that we think nowadays that as a leader, you also need to know something like about arts, about wine, so we have also a lot of the interesting and important core courses. So like we have the wine business and management, negotiation, and exercise is very important. My observation is that great leaders, they usually train their persistent and also through the exercise. So we also have a very popular course called Fit to Lead. That means that we think that exercise is also, if you are very good you enjoy exercising, this is the best approach that you can learn people from other MBA, because most of the leaders, they like exercise. So we also have this kind of the course, and so everyone, when you come, after you finish your core, you can choose what is the most interesting courses or area that you want to develop, and you can dig deeper. After you have the basic curriculum, then you can dig deeper about the electives. So one of the students told me that he hopes that he can take more elective courses, because there are so many interesting ones nowadays. Okay, so this is second one, that is about capability. So only finish the core courses, you will not become a leader, great leader. But it is the basic. Okay, so the third one, connectivity. I mean, everyone knows that a lot of people don't respect MBA very much, as you know, because they always think MBA is just social. They think, oh, you are doing MBA. That means you just go there for party. I think you may heard of people. So because maybe it's true sometimes that the MBA is part of the social. And socialize is very important because this is the way that the quickest way for you to learn what's happening in other area. For example, I have a student, he told me he lacks connectivity very much. He say, he just go party and he heard of some news from other students and company, and then he know that company has a good potential, so you go and invest the stocks, and then just in few months, he earned the tuition. That is not insider information. It's just that he never know that that company is such a good company. So he figured out that, oh, that is a good company. And then he invests and he earned the tuition. So this is just one example. I mean, connectivity is not just go out with people to dine together, to have fun together. Nowadays, it's too slow to learn everything by yourself. It's quicker that you have the chance to meet people from other industry, and then maybe they just complain. For example, a lot of the student told me, whenever he told him that I'm very tired, too many contracts, he told me he go and to invest. He think that this company receive a big contract because his employee is so tired. He complained about the receiving so many. So the same that this is the way everyone can learn something, right? And that is, you need a platform. So the greatest resources in GMBA is that you have so many platforms for you to not going abroad. You can meet people. If you want to know the business in New Zealand, you can ask Oliver, right? It's very quick. We have people from 20 countries. So it's very easy that if your boss asks you to investigate the market in Thailand or in Vietnam, and then you know that I am going to ask my classmate, and then he probably can give some resource. So this is an example of the connectivity. So I'm going to show you that what connectivity platform that we have in GMBA. So first that you have the student council from current students, and we also have an alumni association. So you can know many students that through alumni association. And as you know that NTU have another 2 MBA program. One is EIMBA, the other is EMBA, so you can also access there. And of course that you know faculty, we have the 100 of the faculty in management school. And so that this is a new student council structure. And as you see that I think there are more than 10 countries in the current student council and the previous student council. So if you are willing to contribute, you gain more. I want to remind you that if you just want to come here to get a master degree, you don't need to pay so much to get this master degree. I think that coming here, you need to meet people. If you only want to learn financial management, you don't need to do this program. You go to YouTube, and there are so many free things. I think you still can become expert in financial management. Even for human resource, go to YouTube. It's too tiring to travel to school. Just stay home to learn all the core courses. But as I mean that the textbook, the theory, sometimes it's very difficult for you to understand because you need a context. For example, that you never can remember it. But when you are in a school, you need to discuss with your classmates, and he may share his experience. And so there is a miracle. You remember everything because he told you the reason why they are talking about in this way. So this is the value of our GMBA, right? Because that sometimes it's very difficult to move on alone. But if you move together with others, then probably that it will be quicker. So this is the student council. And as you see that this is a photo I like very much. This is an event by EMBA. But you can see that this flag represents the student council. This flag represents GMBA Alumni Association, right? So they both go together to a EMBA program. So again, this is not part of the curriculum. This is a network. Many people didn't go, but some people go. So if you think that there is a value, then you can choose to join, right? Okay, so not just that. In a curriculum that we also in the elective course, I would like to emphasize, we have this kind of course called Industry Mentor Program. Like, for example, we usually we worked quite many years with the Zhonghua Telecom, and also some of telecom that we will have some real case questions, because many companies that I don't know if you understand that most of the companies, the big companies, if they want to grow, they need to go abroad. So like even for Zhonghua Telecom, that they are already very successful in Taiwan, but if they want to grow, they need to find opportunity abroad. So when they want to go abroad, they usually have some question, and our program, we have a lot of students, and they can help that to see whether this idea can work or not. So sometimes that this is also a good way that for you to understand the different industry, current challenge, and in the area of the international context. Okay, that is the second one, you see, that about connectivity. And then about third, creativity and diversity. Okay, I think since we were small, that we were educated that we need to be creative, right? But it's very difficult that to learn creativity through reading. Or it's very difficult. Creativity is not easy to learn. And so you will see that the best way to learn creativity is conflict. Only when, for example, when you are always challenged, then you will have a thought. You will feel not very happy. So this is something that you will need to think. Is it my path probably have some issue? So that's why I need to change. Otherwise, my colleagues or my boss are not happy. So creativity and diversity, I think they are the same thing. That only when you are put in a diverse environment that you have the ability to create. You have the ability to create. So in Taiwan, probably that you cannot feel the situation. But if you work in international companies, you will find that it's very easy for you to get another international company position, because that you are used to work together with people from different culture. So something that they call diversity dividends. That means that there is a survey that environment with more different people, that usually their performance and their salary will be much higher than the environment that with one type of the culture. So this is maybe you probably important to you to know that how important the diversity is, because this is also another graph that I like to share, is that the reason that this is Netflix, that they can beat Blockbuster is because they create a new business model. So they disrupt the previous one. So creativity is very difficult to learn through the textbook. So it needs a context. So this is what we are very proud of, that I believe that in Taiwan, it's very difficult to find an MBA degree program that have such diverse environment. So we think that our value may be more than the MBA abroad. I remember when I did my master's degree in in the UK, 95% of the students are from China and India. 95%. And the reason is that they told me most of the British people, they didn't do a master's degree. So if you go to check, most of the master's degree abroad, they only attract foreign students, no local students. Very difficult. So it's very difficult for you to meet local people, even you are in the US or in the UK. But if you come to GMBA, that it's very easy for you that in each group you have about 3 or 4 people from 3 or 4. So very easy for you to meet people. So diversity is that not about just gender or race. It's about the mindset, about the culture. So this is something that we are quite proud of. So we have students from different country, culture, and okay. So the fourth one, this one, I think as we always be aware that the commitment to get things done is important. Okay. So this is a 5C. Let me repeat again that GMBA is a program that care very much about the character, and we are confident that we can provide you all the important discipline, knowledge about all the function. So that is a capability. And we believe that through some of our coursework, teamwork, we can build all your ability to connect and also to the creativity, because as long as you get along well with each project, I think that means that you will learn a lot how to communicate with people from different culture. And we also we are also confident as long as you can manage your time on work and also the program together. When you receive the degree, basically that's a recognition of your commitment to get things done. Okay, so now from a practical perspective, you may think why you need to come for until GMBA, and I think that very simple. That the number one, I think that it's just in terms of the ranking that that is the only choice, right? And in Taiwan, and we think that we also, not in the reputation perspective, also resources. I don't think you can find other school or other programs that have more resources than in NTU. So that is I think that is the most important factor that why you choose the GMBA. And the second one, as I mentioned, diversity. No MBA have such a diverse environment. Even EMBA doesn't have. So you will find that it's a very important that most of our students that if you want to work in an international environment, and even if you want to have your companies to go abroad, you need a context to challenge. Because, for example, I told my students that she told me she has a dream to work in the US, but she's afraid of writing an email to our GMBA students in English. I mean, my student in accounting department, very outstanding. But since she was small, she never had the chance to write emails in English to foreign students. And I say, if you never try in this environment, how can you find a job in the US? Right? So this is a very good experiment environment that if you have any dream that you can come to experiment here. Okay, and then we have the, this is we also have a lot of the innovative teaching method. For example, textbook is not that important anymore, because a lot of new knowledge is a lot of the knowledge in textbook maybe is outdated. So, but the textbook theory, good theory, classical theory is important. We all need to know. But we also need to pick out with what's happening currently. So we have all the courses are case-based. So it's a real case. And also we learn by experiment. We try to have a lot of real example. For example, we have an elective course that we work together with Amazon, AWS. AWS have a lot of clients. And so that is that if you are interested in startup company, we try to invite people from this startup, and then we try to deal with the real issue. So this is also we call project-based learning, okay? And then those also experiment learning. Also, we have some of the consulting project. We have proposal competition, case competition. So it's just a matter of time, how much time you have. We basically have a lot of the resources, okay? So this is just one more thing is because I'm coming from the finance background, so I'm thinking that maybe this is more practical, that I think this is a very high return on investment. Why? Because in terms of the tuition, right? Because as you know, in Taiwan, that the national schools, the mission is not to make money. Our mission is to try to educate people, to create leaders for Taiwan, right? That is the most important mission. Making money is important, but it's not the ultimate goal. So this is how the schools in Asia, just in Asia. I don't even put in the US university. If you're looking at all the tuition fee, we are the lowest. But I'm sure that most of the university, the tuition may be high, but I don't think they are able to provide so many resources in terms of the connectivity or in terms of the diverse courses. Okay, so we think that we have a high ROI. Okay, one more thing. This is let me quickly run through the slides. That this is all the faculty background. So we also have a lot of the practice-oriented faculty. So you will see that this is the venture capitalist, and Louis also a founder of the family business in the shoe business. And Charles used to be the VP of the HTC, and we also have the Chen used the previous senior VP from Alibaba. And Professor Zhao is from Singapore University. He teaches negotiation. And Zhou Xue teaches a very, very good called systematic thinking. This is a good approach for you to deal with the uncertainty model and etc. Okay, so this is the faculty. And so far, in terms of the number of the countries involved with the alumni and the students, we have more than 50 countries that in our database. And so give you an idea that if you're looking at 2019 to 2021, on average, our students is 30 years old, and the average working experience about 6 years. And the academic background, so you will not feel lonely if you are coming from like a language study or politics or communication engineer. So you always can find people not involved with the business. And if you're looking at their job, the same. So these are all the companies that from our students. Okay. And one more thing I think it's very important that for our students is the resources in terms of the exchange program. If you go to EMBA or EIMBA, they cannot join exchange program. But the Global MBA is that a part of the school is not so basically all the GMBA students have the rights to apply for the exchange program. Basically, you don't need to pay tuition for the other schools. So we basically have partner schools, more than 100 countries. So schools, so you can pick. So some of our students, they like to go to NYU, then you can try. So you can see all the choice from our website. I just want you to know that we have this kind of resources. And you can also do the double degree if you want to, if you have time. For example, our student, some go to Kyoto for another master degree, and some go to Beijing. But the Kyoto one is free, but the Beijing one that you need to pay the tuition. So that's different. Okay, so let me show you another thing is that currently, because of the COVID is with us for about 2 and 3 years. So before the COVID, this is the exciting part about the GMBA, that we basically have a lot of the overseas trip. But I'm not so sure currently if this would be another attractive part for our students because of the COVID. But just give you an idea that in the past, we have a lot of the cross-country project. So this is a project in Indonesia, and this is that the students from abroad, they come to Taiwan. This is in Korea. Okay, so this is called overseas study trip. And in here that we sometimes also have some cooperation with the Hidden Champion Project. So we will go for some companies in Taiwan that were very successful. Okay, so summarize that I think these are 4 most important value for us that we think that GMBA might be the best choice for you. Okay, so come to the end. So you remember that, I don't know, some of you probably are international, because in GMBA, the challenging part for us is that we have 3 tracks of the students. And 1 track is that we have local students. I think most of people here, you probably apply to local student track. And so we only have 30 slots. Very competitive for local students. And that the period is February 18 to March 10. And if you are eligible for international students, you go for another track for application. And we also have an overseas Chinese student. So we have 3 tracks. But in the future, in the class, we don't separate them. So you basically, in your team, you have the team member from the international track, or maybe from overseas track, and you are part of the local student track. So in total, every year, we probably have about 60 to 70 students in each batch. Okay. So all the details, you go to the website, and you will find, if you cannot find the resources or find the information, then you can always contact the office. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and so I'm willing to take some question. But of course, later, if we have a lot of the free time that for you to have the personal contact, and don't feel free to stop me anytime that after the break, and I'm happy to give you some more guidance. Okay, so now maybe I can take a few questions if you have. Yes, please.
Thank you for the introduction. So I have a question. It's more a logistic question. So are the classes in the daytime or in evening?
Oh, all our core courses are in the evening.
Okay.
But we also have many elective courses in the daytime and in the weekend. Because I hope you need to understand that it's very difficult to balance 3 tracks of people, right? Most of our international students, when they come to Taiwan, they basically are full-time students. So sometimes they complain that why they always need to wait till the evening. They have a lot of time in the daytime, right? So we also need to balance that. So of course, we have some courses in the daytime. But we also understand that our students, that the local students, they probably need to take care of their job. So they also, but for local students, as I mentioned, don't unless your boss requires you to get a master degree as soon as possible, unless that degree itself can give you a bonus, I don't think you need to spend time to finish so quickly, because there are so many resources only eligible for people who still have the student ID, right? So this is just for your reference that we have courses. If you are starting from the part-time student perspective, you can take the core course in the evening and elective courses in the weekend.
And is there an interview, physical interview?
Interview?
Yes. I mean, for the application. Do
Yeah,
you
all students, we have two process. The first process is the application, and then we will select some students for interviews, because I think interview is important to double check that you don't go to a wrong program. Maybe it's not good that you will come because of misunderstanding, right?
All right, thank you.
Yes? Okay.
Thank you for the introduction. The course sounds like it's suited to people who want to pursue a corporate job. What about entrepreneurs, startup? Is this course suited for people with that goal
You
in
mean
mind?
startup?
Yeah, people who want to be in the startup industry, entrepreneurs.
Yes, I think that most of our students, I've noticed that in the youngster, there's a trend. The youngster, they want to start up. They want to do own business. So as you that we have some elective courses, like in particular, Professor James. He has 2 courses in each semester, and all the courses focus on startup. And so he has a very good connection. He always show the startup, invite the startup, some of the mentor here, and then so this is also a good important resource. And all our core courses, as you see, that this is all the basic knowledge for all kinds of the companies. So we still believe that even for core courses, all those knowledge applies to startup company, because that sometimes that for example in my financial reporting courses, I always invite the startup company to share, because I want the student to know the communication of financial reporting for startup companies different from financial reporting of the listed companies. But you need to know the difference, because you cannot pick the customer in the future. If you work for the bank, you need to know that what profile of this customer they are. Are they mature company or they are startup company? So I should say that this environment fits very well for people who want to do the startup. As I mentioned, creativity is the key for startup company. And most of our students, they are not interested in working at very old, mature companies, because they want find vibrant environment. So I would say that so many companies, but so many students, they want to do.
Okay, thank you. One other question. You mentioned you use case studies.
Yes.
Are they mostly Harvard Business School cases, or do you, in other words, do you have any local case studies?
We basically, this is a good question. We have a lot of the local cases, but not in when we use local, we work together with a company. So the real case is not by written, because as you understand, I don't know if you know that most of the Taiwanese company, even the Taiwan Semiconductor, he didn't write any case. Most of the successful Taiwanese company, they keep secret. How can I know their cases, right? And that is the way they become monopoly. No one will share the story. So the best way is that you work with them, and then you go to visit their company, and people will come and they will share with you the situation. But if you want them to put it in the case, not because they don't want to share. Sometimes they are quite humble. They don't think they deserve a case. So if you want to know more about local business, either you read the article in the media, or the best way to us, we think, is to contact the company, and then we do like a Zhonghua Telecom. It's also very conservative. But they are very happy if you want to grow with them for the future. They will share with you what's the challenge they have now. And if you can help, they will be happy to share. But if you want them to tell you about the past, they don't have time. They want to move on, right? So I think this is a way that when we deal with the local business. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jack. Thank you for your sharing of the introduction of this MBA. I got two questions about it. The first one is, I'm wondering what is the impact of the COVID situation in this program? Is the registration rate of international students become changed or something like that? And the second question is, what if the COVID situation in Taiwan become more severe? The courses will change to online or something?
Okay. Thank you very much. So COVID is a very good scenario that for all the MBA students to learn how to face with this situation. And I should say, we are very fortunate that last year we have the experience for the COVID. So first of all, compared to the international, most of the country in the world, Taiwan is relatively very safe. So our registration rate for international students is very high because most people find it safer if they are able to come to Taiwan. So that's the first thing. And second, because of the last year experience, so we basically already have the experience of the pure online and also in person. And most important, most of course, is hybrid. Hybrid means that, but I should say that, as you know, as I mentioned, the reason you come here is to connect. I also told students, don't come here just for course or for degree. I think it wastes money. I will ask you to save it, to do investment, not to come to do GMBA. Come to GMBA only to connect, okay? So our values still believe in person is the best approach. So we follow the NTU policy, which means as soon as NTU is open, then all students, part-time student, you need to be in person in school. But international students, sometimes they cannot come because of government. They need to get a visa. Sometimes, like last year, when the government closed the border, they cannot come. But those people still want to do they still want to register. So for them, we opened them the online access. So that's why we call it hybrid. So it's a very interesting experiment. You know, in my course, you will find very nature that I say, oh, there is a group presentation, and you will find two people do the presentation, and then all of a sudden there is another one, virtual, do a presentation. So this is becoming a world that virtual, in person coexist, and very natural, and you will get used to it because you probably will discuss with your students virtually or maybe in person. But that is basically the real world happening now, right? So I think don't worry about that because we have a lot of experience already for the COVID.
Yes, thank you.
Hi. You mentioned that the program takes about 60 to 70 students a year. So I'm wondering,
60 to,
yeah, so I'm wondering, what's the percentage of the part-time students in this
30.
30? Oh, so
You mean part-time?
part-time
Because I
students.
should say most of the local students, I think they are part-time. When they apply, they basically have a job, right? So we usually, I should say, most of the local students are part-time. But I should say, I notice a lot of students find GMBA so attractive. They resign before they register. They say they want to fully commit it, and they do it in full time. I don't know, maybe you can meet some of our current. They are they think they want to concentrate. So I met many of the local students, they basically become full time. But when they apply, they basically are part time. We rarely see people applying the local student part time, but full time. They basically, when they do the application, they all have a job. So I should say that I will assume they are all part-time, but it's very likely they will become full-time.
Okay, so you're saying if someone is working, then they will be categorized as part-time students?
Yes.
Because my case is, I think, somewhat peculiar. I'm from Hong Kong. I got relocated to Taiwan, but
Oh, so you are from Hong Kong. You cannot be local, I think. You are overseas Chinese. Okay.
I'm off. All right. So that means the deadline has already been closed.
I think you can consult Christy.
All right. Thank you.
Because it's still likely you can use local. Yeah, okay. So maybe, one more, and then.
Yeah, and I have two questions. So the first questions, because you have talked a lot about the connections, right? Well, we came here, we want to have a lot of connections. So could you tell us like some names of international companies or Taiwanese companies, both are okay, which have cooperations in any aspects with GMBA? And the second question is, if I am registering for this program, I will apply for the international students. So I'm working right now in Taipei, and could you tell us more about the administrative? This question is for international office maybe, and I asked the immigration agency in Taiwan, and they said if international students are working right now and they want to apply for the master degree, we need to change our working permit into like a student visa, student visa. So could you tell us more about it? Like, I mean, I don't need to go back to my country, right? Like the 那个工作证是。
Oh, this is too detailed. I will ask Christy to help you. Okay, the second question. But the first one, you are saying that the international companies.
Yeah, or Taiwanese companies both are okay. Like, which have any cooperations with GMBA in any aspects, maybe. Yeah.
As I mentioned that. I don't know what do you mean. At least so far, we are working very closely with Amazon, AWS, okay? And also, that is an international company, and the other is Zhonghua Telecom, very close connection. That means it's a course. And to be honest, that we cannot sign too many contracts with many big companies. The reason is our students, a lot of students are so busy, they never commit. When we sign a contract, then you need time to help the company to do some of the job together that in the course. So I think that, but we have a lot of the connection is that like a company visit. But when students, I think most of students only want to visit. They don't want to work. right? But as I mentioned, that we have a lot of connection. If you just want to meet people, for example, I want to meet people from Taiwan Semiconductor, that's easy, so many people. It's very easy to find people from there to talk to you. But if you say, if you want to work for Taiwan Semiconductor project, I don't think they probably ask you to do something about AI. You probably feel headache. So there are two different issues, right? When you say connection, that one is that just to understanding, or are you really serious? You want to build out some project together with a company? That is a challenging part. That is not just so. So in fact, we have a lot. Yes. Okay. I'm going to stop here, and later we can keep discuss later. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, and thank you very much, Professor Audrey, for your time and energy that you put into this presentation, and thank you once again. I'd now just like to invite Professor Leon to the stage, and he will tell you why you should be doing this program from his perspective. Professor Leon.
Sorry, I forgot to add one more thing. Is that today we have a survey, and it's important that if you want to apply, because I hope that after you've listened to all the lesson, we really think it's important. We want to make sure you understand us correctly, because we are afraid we ruin your future. Because you come here, because you thought we are going to give you something that we never promised. So it's important for you to fill in, and that is a bonus when you apply. You know, we will consider this as a bonus. So this is a bonus for people who are here. So just a quick add up. Okay, thank you. Huh? It doesn't work? Christy, it doesn't work for that. Okay, later we will show you. Sorry. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. Hi, thank you for joining us. My name is Professor Leon. I usually skip my last name because it's a bit hard to pronounce. So I'd like to welcome you here. I'd like to thank Professor Oji for the introduction to GMBA. I think it's already touched very deeply on many of the points that I would also like to make. But before I go into it, I would like you to think of this question. Just like to advise you to keep it in mind as you approach your decision on whether to join GMBA. Think about your goals, think about how it aligns to what GMBA has to offer, and consider how to approach the program from that perspective. Now, I'd like you to raise your hand if you're familiar with this idea, the traditional class experience. See some hands there, right? So in the traditional class experience, I'm sure you are aware that it's usually textbook-based. You have lectures that introduce theories. You have some class discussion, tests, assignments, but very limited industry interaction, very limited class interaction. And this is one of the advantages of GMBA that we would like to highlight as well again. When you approach the classes in GMBA, one thing that you will experience is a very innovative teaching experience. You'll find that there is a broad diversity of courses being offered. You'll find that we often invite the industry experts to the classroom to interact directly with you, to give you an idea of what they actually do in terms of their business. This is also where you have the case experience with these companies in person. And you can pick up a lot of industry-appropriate knowledge through this interaction, engage the companies directly, and also network with them over time. But another very strong element that I would like to highlight is the learning environment itself. In a while, you will get to meet Michael. You've already met Oliver. During our networking later on, you'll get to meet Delina. And you'll get to learn that some of your classmates here as well, future prospective classmates who are sitting here as well, have significant industry experience. They do not just come from multinational backgrounds, but they also have significant working experience, different companies that they've been through. I've done a rough calculation in one of the classes, and I found that amongst the students in that class, there was roughly 130 years of working experience from many different companies. And the benefit of this is that you might share a class in the future with someone like Michael, where the teacher would introduce a topic, ask a question, someone would share their knowledge, for example, like Michael, and through that process would actually discuss a lot of the theoretical principles that that the professor would want to introduce, but from a practical perspective. And so there's a lot of practical experience that you can gain from your classmates that you would not necessarily have in a traditional class setting by itself. And so this would be one of the major advantages. We also have a lot of networking, as Director Audrey mentioned, with industry experts. One class, for example, we have the privilege of working with Amazon, specifically AWS in Taipei. And we've had this wonderful experience working with some of the companies that we introduced as well. Get to know what these companies experience in their startup journey, the types of difficulties and challenges that they face. And we had the opportunity to build an actual industry report that benefit them, but also benefits our learning experience within the classroom. And that would be another advantage. So I don't want to take too much of your time today, but what I want to highlight is that once you take all these elements together, you have the learning experience with your classmates, the expertise from your professors, and the engagement with companies, be they national or international, within the classroom setting. You have the makings of building a holistic leadership profile for yourself as well. And I would like to welcome you to engage with us more. Feel free to ask questions for myself during the networking afterwards. Feel free to engage our students and alumni, who you will meet in a bit as well. And try to see how this works towards your future plans and your future goals in developing yourself as a holistic leader. So thank you again for your time. Thank you for joining us. And I'd like to pass the microphone back to Oliver. During the networking afterwards, feel free as well to engage me with any more questions that you may have. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It gives me great pleasure to announce my next friend, my next speaker and my good friend Michael to the stage to talk about his experiences, as now we're going to be talking with current MBA students. Thanks, Michael.
Welcome to GMBA, and this is my first semester. And let me talk about a little bit about myself. So this is my background, and I've put Burberry on it because I used to work at Burberry after getting my dual degree, biochemistry and cell biology at UCSD. And then I went to work at Burberry. And initially, I didn't like biology, and I don't know what to make use of that experience. So I went to UK, and I go to biology as a sales, right? And the moment the sales, I think the KPI is really rigid. They just want you to sell. And then so I realized that, well, the Chinese people, they all come in by 20 and 30,000 pounds of stuff, like 30,000 pounds worth of clothes. And then you'll be there for like hours trying to sort through things. And then that was when I was making really good sales. Okay, that was an eye-opening experiment in my life. And that was that. And that was like, I think that has a lot to do with the people skill, because I just love to talk to people. But then it has nothing to do with biology. Even though if you, from a chemist perspective, I mean, I can analyze what kind of fabrics that they're used, and like the distance between each fabrics is like 0.8 nanometers. Those type of things. I can tell those stories to the clients, and I believe that's why my sales were good because I talk about the stories. And also with Burberry, the trench coats, the buckle in, back here, it's used to hold the grenades during World War I, right? You can actually use that to protect your family and throw it at the enemies. Those type of things. Okay, so that's where I came from. And I sorted out my thoughts and I say, okay, I want to be back to the biochemistry realm because this is what I've learned. I want to apply myself, right? And I realized that, well, I'm just good with people, so that's also important. That's savvy knowledge. And then in the industry, people are looking for hard knowledge, right? Like financial accounting, which I took last quarter. It kind of killed me, but I had to study like 6 to 8 hours along with my dad's friends. So when baby cries, my mind can't work. My superpower just go down. So we do have to put in a lot of the hard work, but it's not for the grade. It's for my life. You know, now I'm in the management in the biotech realm. I work for Golden Biotech Corporations. So I want to strive for something that I feel valuable, and I want my job. I want to feel satisfied in my job, knowing that I have something to contribute, but I don't have the grammars. So that's why, in addition to Burberry, I didn't have the Burberry grammars. You know, different textures that they use to make the trench coats, but I learned from there. And now I'm learning entirely new grammars from the from the biotech realm. And I did, and it worked. People saw that I am willing to spend those time over there. But I reach a point where it's stagnant. I can't move up any higher. It's just because I don't know the grammars that those management people are talking about. So that's why I have a sense of urge to join a business school, knowing that I have zero grammar here. But, you know, back in 2010, like my UCSD professor told me, well, now you have Google, you have Wikipedia, you can find every fact online. But people are no longer satisfied by facts. People want you to build your own thinking upon these facts so you can just do certain double clicks to find out all the facts that's available online. But the integration part takes time and takes innovation and takes, you know, a street smart approach for you to understand. And so I try my way really, really hard to get to where I am. So I'm humbled to come in here knowing nothing, but with certain textbooks, I can get a head start. So yes, in addition to networking, we dads also spend 6 to 8 hours on average, like to do the homework, not just for the grade, but you know, for our future as well. Because those hard knowledge stuff, we still have to know them. So when you are networking with other people, the perception is everything. They will know that what you're talking about makes sense, and then so you will have the next step of arrangement. Okay. And why do I really want to choose NTU? How many people know when NTU was established? How many of you? Yeah. When was NTU established? In 19 what? The history of NTU. Are anyone here interested in the history of NTU? Yes, okay. Sure, I'll just talk about it. So it's really rich history with those who love this land, Taiwan, and heritage and sustainability. So yes, and that's why I came in. There's a guy called Michiyoshi. Yanagari. Sorry, I'm not Japanese. And he was a guy who put solid work in studying agriculture, insects, mass animal production, plant diseases. He has all that biological trainings when he was young. You cannot hear it?
No, you
Okay. So he was a guy who studied really, really hard on all these subjects. And so, where's his name? Oh, wow. Oh, wait. Oh, gosh. Can someone help? Can someone help me too? This is like way too technical for me. No. The other way. Okay. Up. 再回去. Okay, again. I will just not click before I finish talking. Uh, 上去再上去，让这个再这样下来. Okay. And so he did all these groundwork in agriculture-related science. And in 1903, the government, which by that time, Taiwan has already been colonized by the Japanese. And so government bought 24 acres of the land around Fuding, which is like Ximending right now, right? And the reason why is because it's fertile, right? And in the rivers and the water. Whenever there's water sources, they're bound to have war and conflicts because people want water. No water, it'll be drought to death. So 24 acres of around Fuding for agricultural purposes, testing ground for innovation and sustainability. So when you're talking about testing ground, they are really applying sciences to make good crops. And that guy, he also told the government that if the crops are growing good, the crime rates are also going to reduce because he observed that the crime rates over there, people are not stealing PS1, PS2 because they don't have that sort of thing. People are stealing food. So he thinks, well, if we put an infrastructure there and they can get all food, they can grow their own food, maybe the crime rates will reduce. And that's, lo and behold, that's what happened. And 1919, he evolved too much that to a point he established an Institute of Agriculture and Forestry in 1919, and it's expanded to 36 acres. 1922, 900 people enrolled for the exact same purpose, to make the people of the land to live better with all these technology that he brought from Japan. And then 1922, Taipei Imperial University was established. So it's like a hats-on experiment. And it's like using theories and convert them to practicality and to make something that would benefit the people around. So that has always been NTU's approach. We are hands-on school. We're just not talking about theories and that's it, and we forgot about them like 3 weeks after the finals. We actually want to learn something that can have an impact in our life. 下一张. So, tips for application, local Taiwanese. Start preparing now. The information that how you should apply is very specific. It's very specific. So you just GMBA edu, and then you will see everything there. Fixate on why. Like, why do you want to join the school now? For me, the why is, why do I want to join the school when my kids is almost 2, and she cries all the time, and I have to suffer from 7 to 9 listening to a lecture, and after coming home, I have to do the homework, but then I have to watch her first and put her to bed. So usually the time when I study, it's about 1 a.m., right? I mean, all these things, all these technical things. So it's a big sacrifice. But then I know life, for me has come to a point where it feels stagnant because I have all the savvy knowledge and people skills, and my boss likes me, but I feel like there's a barrier that I can't go any further. The reason why I want to go further is because I want to apply my brain to something that I know I can master it, and I can have more exposures to different departments in my company, and then we can make something even greater, right? That's my dream. I want to apply myself in the right way, and I still have time, right? As a 37, I can do much more. I don't just want to live happily thereafter, just like that. It would be really boring to me. And so application essays, it also asks you a lot of why. So that's a question that I ask. Because NTU, they also want students that, will go out of their comfort zones to do that, to know why you want to be here. And because this is like a legacy, and then good stuff, good infrastructure will be, it'll be inherited down to the people, you don't know how many generations they'll be inherited down to. So these are the ones that makes us great. And for the transcripts, I think if you got your transcripts elsewhere in America, for example, I don't know if you have to actually fly there and get a standby tackle, because I actually flew there on a business trip to get it done. But maybe they have new ways for you to do that. So transcripts will be one thing that you need a stamp from the authority. So think about that a lot earlier. And then if you run into a problem, you can ask us, and then we can find ways for you to do it too. Lastly, everything is actually there. The link, the useful link, and the way how you should apply. Life as a GMBA student, I think I've mentioned a lot about that. 2, 3 a.m. after the work, you have to do the homework. But then you also get a lifelong friends. One of the friends here, nine there, he actually, when I was doing my endoscopy examination, he waited for me outside my hospital room for like 5 hours. And then people kept telling him he can't get in. And then so he just waited for me for 5 hours there, just reading their statistics homeworks. That's crazy. So coming to the school, you also meet people that will have a healing effect on your life, right? And you can really see the good in humanity too. And I think NTU is really special in that regard. People are so kind here. And that's our class 2023. I think we should have a blast this year. So I really highly encourage you to apply. If you failed the first time, don't fret. You can apply the second time. I applied twice. I was gonna apply the third time, but maybe they said, oh, okay, whatever, Michael, third time too much. Maybe I'll just get him in. No, I'm not sure. But NTU doesn't define you. If you apply the 5 times, I think you can already shine in your own respective field already. Just that persistence, I think. Persistence is really important. So I really welcome all of you to try as hard as you can. And one last thing, okay? When you get into NTU, network are not just given to you. There's no such thing. You have to find your way to the people. You might have conflicts. You might have things that you don't know how to say, or you might be ganga, you don't know what to say. This is just life, Network is not given to you. You really have to try your way to connect with the people as if you really care about that person, and it takes time. And we provide that here for you, and we have so many venues that will be beneficial for you to have those contacts. Exposures and more. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Michael. Would now like to invite Fabi, the VP of Partying in the Student Council, to the stage.
Hello, hi. So why should you be doing the GMBA here at NTU? And I try to make it two-sided. First, what is my motivation to go into it? And then on the other hand, now that I'm here, is it really true? So there's 4 things that motivated me to come here to Taiwan to take the GMBA. And it's first, I believe in signaling theory more than human capital theory, if that tells you something. The degree of Taida. That's something that makes it possible for me to work here in Taiwan. That's my goal. And on a second thing, it's very attractive to live in Taiwan. I've been traveling over 55 countries, and I think Taiwan is pretty good. So that's why also I'm here. And also it's super easy. And OIA, Yvonne, Christy, make it super easy, and they're super helpful. Everything you ask them, there's a really good answer, and it's so responsive. I was very pleasantly surprised. And then as a fourth, it's also affordable. you know, coming from my country, you're gonna see later, it's very affordable here, and also living in the dorms, you can just live with not so much money. And then, as we saw, the ROI of the program is very good compared to other GMBAs. So, in the background should be a map, but that shows you where I'm from. I'm Swiss, coming here to Taiwan. And who is this guy who talks to you in front? So I had, even before, a master's degree in Switzerland. So what's my motivation? I've been then working in consulting and business intelligence for 7 years, and now I'm here. So in those 7 years, I think it's a very steady path. Once you're in the business, you just stay, and it goes up, 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 up. But also there's not so much of a challenge. So I want a new challenge, and I want to work in Taiwan. That's why I applied here. I applied in Taiwan for many jobs. Nothing came back. And I think because I don't have a degree from here, and I cannot speak Chinese. So I learned speaking Chinese, I take the degree, and with that I hope I can find work here and see how it is. So now that I'm here, all the hopes that I have, all the motivation, I want to tell you what is more positive than I thought. And that's definitely the community. Like, Taiwanese are very community-focused people. That's my understanding, what I feel. And that's even more so true here at GMBA. So on one side, the GMBA office, they're just so welcoming to us, and it feels like a big family. And also the students that are here. So if you want that, please come to GMBA. And then we also have the student council, and we have also our new student council president here, Helen. And also the student council event make it really easy to find your community, and it's just so like close together. And then the downside, like, why shouldn't you come maybe? And that's for me academia. Like, as having already a master's degree before, some of the courses feel very repetitive. And also there is a lot of core courses, and you need to take them to the degree. And then also they have an attendance policy, which personally I don't like. If I'm there, I want to learn. That's why I go. And in the end, it comes down to you. Like, is it useful for you? And I would say on one side, you need to decide, do you want to work, do you want to study? Because if you work, then you earn money and you go up in your career. If you study, you have opportunity cost of it, even if it's not so expensive to study here. And then also the entrepreneurial and the corporate route. And I feel like GMBA is rather for corporate route. As you asked in the back before, I would say the focus is on corporate. If you do entrepreneurial, and that's not because I feel like it's not useful. It's because I believe in a signaling theory. If you go to a startup and say, I have this title, they don't care. They need to know what you can do. So the other human capital theory would be applicable, which I don't believe in so much. And then also COVID. I would say now in these days, it's always very helpful to have a plan B and C. So use this as a plan A or B. It's always good to have options. And then there's a special thing I also want to talk to you about. Here in GMBA, the collaboration is really close together. And the director of GMBA, Audrey, welcomes us also in a way that we can go and talk to her one-to-one. And we can give feedback about our courses, about our experience here at GMBA. And that, as I understand from past students, also goes in the program. That means it really gets better and better every year. So that's it. Thank you. And also, feel free to contact with me. Like, please scan the code if you want to ask me any question on LinkedIn, online, or also ask questions later. Yeah, ask me anything. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Fabi. That was a fantastic presentation, and look forward to more partying this year. it gives me pleasure to invite our next speaker, a second-year speaker, to the stage. If she looks familiar, it's because she's a news reporter in Unique Broadcasting Incorporated. So let's invite Nina to the stage to come and talk to us. Or, that's right, there is always a plan B, because as Fabian has just said, it's very important to have a plan B. And maybe we will invite Charlie to the stage to... Oh, who's next? Oh. And we can always go back to plan A. So it gives me great pleasure to invite Nina to the stage. Sorry, you can put your bags down over here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our information section. I'm Nina Zhu. I'm really happy to be here today. Okay, let me give you a quick introduction about myself. I'm Nina Zhu. I'm the second student of GMBA, and I was the financial journalist and news anchor in Feifan TV. I have worked in the media industry for over 8 years, but I took a leave 3 years ago to accompany my husband to visit Washington, D.C. But after the outbreak of the COVID-19 in the US, we finally decided to back to Taiwan. So now I'm the full-time student in GMBA. And that got to the first topic. I'm sharing like why I chose back to school. What is my inspiration to get involved with GMBA? So the first part, I will talk about my personal part. The story was started when my husband was offered the visiting scholar position in Georgetown Law. So just like I mentioned before, I moved to DC to accompany with him. And at that time, I found that I really enjoy the English-speaking environment. And then I also enjoy immersing myself in the new environment and meeting the new people. So it inspired me to think about my next step. I was thinking that if I should go back to the same position when I back to Taiwan. And then there's one night, I was just strolling my Facebook. There's one of my friends, he's a GMBA alumni, and he's posting some picture, like having fun with GMBA, something like that. And it caught my attention and sparked my interest. And then I think, it's kind of a good timing for me to go back to school to recall the good old days. And the second part is my career reason. Addition to broadcasting news on TV, I also work as a moderator in some news conference or forums. And they are mostly related to business and finance sectors. And honestly speaking, after working 7 or 8 years, I found that I really need some professional knowledge and input in my mind or in my brain. So I checked the GMBA courses schedule, and I found that that is the answer for me. I believe that all of you can relate to the feeling. That is, when you started your routine 9 to 6 job for a while, you may feel a little bit like lost, or you need a pit stop to recharge yourself. So since mine, so I just post my GMBA program here. And the last one, culture part, I would say it was more like a motivation because I want to make more friends. Although I don't really stay abroad or study abroad. I just don't want people to see me. Oh, Nina, she's a girl like always in the Chinese bubble or Taiwanese bubble, 华人圈圈. Yeah, so I just step out my comfort zone and extend my community. And then I also found that GMBA is the answer because people here are coming from all over the world and are all walks of the life. Yeah, so this is my sharing about why I'm back to school. And the second topic is, given my working background is not business, how do I think GMBA is helping in my further career path? Frankly speaking, I'm not sure about still thinking my future plans, but I'm pretty sure that all the experience that I take from GMBA are all valuable. For this part, I will illustrate with two concepts. For the first one, I would say National Taiwan University is the best school in Taiwan and is also one of the well-known schools in Taiwan in the world. So this little position really made it a perfect place to have the strong connection to all the industry, to all the industry in Taiwan. You will find that we have a lot of company visits or a guest lecture or studying trip. Besides, we also have some, as part of courses, we are involved in projects in cooperation with some local company. And the second concept, I would say, is the prestige of NTU indeed benefit a lot us. When you're studying in GMBA, you may meet a lot of very cool people, and you will have the strong connection, social network, and also get the job opportunity. But also, you can have the exchange program to study abroad for one semester. Yeah, so all of it about it, I think it's also the strengths and the factor are all appealing and powerful for me to helping in my further career path. Here's the picture that's showing you we have some company visit. The left one is All Right Green headquarters in Taoyuan. And the right one is our leading industry, our Taiwan #1 company, TSMC in Hsinchu. Okay, and the last part I'll show is my experience that I joined the student council of GMBA. Throughout the program, there are lots of, I would say, tons of events organized by student council and organized by school. So please remember, we work hard at GMBA, and we play even harder. If you show your determination and your dedication, you will reward it. So first of all, I'll show you is the biggest annual celebration in GMBA. It would definitely be our Unity Ball. It's kind of the unique version of graduation prom. It's a day where GMBAs are reunited, including our current student, our GMBA alumni, and office member, and our professors. Yeah, so on that day, we dress up to impress, and we also celebration together to the year of hard work. Anyone know this party thing? Yeah, the Great Gatsby, right? Okay, and we also hold a Halloween party every year and welcome back party at the beginning of the semester. And we also organize the GMBA Connect. It's kind of the event that we reach out the connection externally. And vice versa, we also hold the GMBA sharing. We also call that G to G, GMBA to GMBA. It's kind of the internal activity to bond with our classmates. Oh, and we also arrange a series of potluck dinner gathering and wine tasting. We also have some sport club like golf, like basketball, and Dragon Boat Festival. Yeah, so if you are the outdoor activity lover, you may meet a lot of friends here. Oh, and there's one thing we saw on the slide. We also co-hold a lot of social event or single mixer to another international GMBA program. So this is kind of the bonus if you are single, if you join us. Yeah. So I think that's about it for today. I hope I don't change your mind so far. And I was thinking, really can't wait to meet you all during the next semester. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your sharing.
Thanks, Nina, and thanks to all the classmates who have shared today. It's not easy to get up on the stage and talk, particularly if you've just been rushed through the door. Look, it now gives me great pleasure to invite one of our alumni, Charlie Tsang, to the stage. He's of class of 2016 and is the director of Hope English. And he actually spoke in one of our classes, organisational behaviours, just to give you an idea that we do connect with our alumni. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, thank you. Hey guys, my name is Charlie. Before I begin, I would like to echo to the question being asked before from several students, like case studies, companies, connections. I think professors are being really humble because we've been connecting with so many students. Back in my days, when I was in school, I remember we visited Alibaba, we visited so many companies, like the big ones, the startup ones, even students organize events with Facebook, with Google, with many countries, many big companies. So it's a huge plus. So my name is Charlie, and where's my clicker? Yeah, thank you. I'm a local student from here, from Taiwan. I graduated actually 2018. I don't know why they put me in the class of 2016, but I'm actually a 2018 graduate. Well, I guess because I was a part-time student, I spent almost 4 years, like 4 full years here in the program. But the reason why I stayed 4 years wasn't because I had to, spend all the time studying. I did it on purpose because I wanted to stay here for a longer time to get connected. This is a little about me. Sorry, there's a little Chinese in there because I don't know even how to translate those. Those are my publications in Chinese. I don't know how to translate those. But I'm the CEO and founder for Hope English, which is actually an online English learning company, a startup as well. So people ask about a startup. Would I be benefited from this program? The answer is yes. And I'm also a teacher right now for economics because that's what I got. It's a little off, but I got my undergrad degree from UC Davis, California, in so when I decided to apply to an MBA program here, I wasn't here to learn something about economics or anything, like academic. I feel like this is a great opportunity for me to get connected at the beginning, but to be honest, it was really like a getaway for me when I was starting up my business from 2012. I started my company in 2012, applied to this program in 2013, got in 2014. That time I feel like, maybe one day in a week I can actually get out of my startup business and then enjoy my, come back to my student life, which actually was a huge help. I got to, because I had to work like 16 hours a day as a startup founder at the early stage. This 4 hours per week got me really, feel like a freedom. So it was really a really wise choice from GMBA program. And today, I'm not here to talk about myself. I'm here to share with you guys a little bit about GMBA program, like what it feels like before and after. I mean, when I was in the program, there are so many activities I took part in. The bottom one was from here. That was when I was back in California, because the reason why I put that picture right there was because a lot of people saw me like this right now. I told them that I played Division I volleyball back in California. They don't believe me because I gained like 30 some kilo after doing this startup. But that's the trade-off. So back in MBA, that was still 2015. We had a basketball team. We actually did this like an intramural like a sports competition. We took basketball, almost won. Actually, we have beaten the champion at the end, which is actually the physics. Our average age was actually 35 or 36. We went up against those like 20 years old or 19 years old, and we still beat them. So that was a really fun activity we had. And also talking about classes, like of course we have all the core courses like basics of economics, accounting, or statistics. One class I took really interesting was this entrepreneurship class. I still remember that was Professor Cao. He actually had this class. We learned, even though I had my startup at the early stage, I still came to the class. I still learned some concept about having a startup. It wasn't like I really need these skills to build my startup, but it really helped me to avoid some of the maybe potential failure or some traps. And this is like an MVP model actually helped me a lot on building my new products and new design. And apart from the entrepreneurship class, I still remember I took accounting with Professor Audrey. Yeah, she actually was my professor for accounting. And one thing really interesting was I took accounting back in college when I was in UC Davis. I felt like, well, to be honest, that was actually the subject that I disliked the most. I hated accounting when I was back in college, but coming to this program, I just feel like I'm still taking it, but I found I'm actually on a totally different perspective. As a business owner, as a startup founder, I come in to ask different questions, not like doing auto calculation, but coming in asking Audrey like, oh, there's a VC coming to me asking about valuation, like how do I evaluate my company? And then Professor Audrey gave me so many methods that I can actually learn from, I can actually utilize when I talk to VCs, which was excellent. And after graduation, we, of course, we still keep connected to our current students or our alumni association. Like for me personally, because back in my batch, there's a guy, his name is Chris Liu. He actually founded this live events, which really like it's an event that we invite speakers from big companies, from the industry, coming back to share with us about management, about the career life. That one was really valuable because that's exactly what we're trying to learn. I actually, as a company owner, as a startup in education, I bring this to some of the high schools I collaborate with. We do some charity events. We bring our current students or alumni to the high schools to do charity education. And that actually got me some, of course, connections, and also for that purpose, I actually hired some of our alumni in our program. So that's that. And like we still have basketball events, tournaments, and cross-program connections with like NTU EMBA, or like tonight, this evening, we're going to be playing against the NCCU IMBA. We've been connected to a lot of different MBA programs throughout Taiwan, and that is going to be a benefit after graduation. You still have association that take care of your connections. So that's all from my part. And if you have any further questions regarding, I don't know, the program or even connections, feel free to talk to me after. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Charlie. We really appreciate your contribution. And now we've got one last speaker who will talk about their time doing the dual degree program, both here at NTU and at Peking University. So welcome, Jennifer, to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and good to see you today. I think 7 years ago, I also sit here, and just like you guys, like to listen to the sharing session, and feel like not sure about the. Thank you. Not sure about my MBA life, or if I need to apply MBA or not. So I think some of you do have these kind of questions also. And so let me introduce myself first. I'm Jennifer Liu. Currently, I'm working in Shanghai. And actually, I came back to Taipei in November. So I just did a quarantine. And, it's hard to travel during COVID. So I haven't been back for almost 2 years. So I feel like, oh, Taipei is really good again. Yeah, so I'm feel very happy to be here to share with you some of my experience in GMBA and also why I apply double degree program in PKU, Peking University, Guanghua and IMBA. Okay, so let me start. Okay. So my background is like I'm local Taiwanese. So I studied, the high school and college in Taiwan, and then I started to work. So I never studied master before, until one day I feel like, oh, I may need to go back to campus to get more, connection out of my work and to know more things. So I decided to apply GMBA in NTU. And during that time, I remember, because I don't want to quit my job. So I think GMBA is a very, very good program which can provide you flexibility. If you can choose to be full-time student, also you can choose to be part-time student if you still have to work. Yeah, so that's my experience. So actually, I took 2 years and graduate from GMBA, but also, I still keep my work. So it's very, very challenging to, sometimes you need to manage your time very, very well, and you need to sacrifice something. For example, I sacrifice my sleeping time. Most of the time, I still exist. I need to hang out with my classmates. I need to get a social life, but sometimes I just slept maybe 5 hours or 4 hours a day. But I think it works. Eventually, you'll feel like, oh, you can, exist, and to the final end, you finish your thesis, and everything feel like, oh, it's like a dream. Yeah. So here I just got my degree in GMBA, and actually during the first year of my MBA life, I feel like maybe I was crazy at that time. I just feel like maybe I can apply another one because GMBA has this kind of resource to, for us to apply the double degree in the US or PKU. So during that moment, I feel like I would like to apply PKU. And finally, I did that. So I left Taiwan in 2018 and went to Beijing to finish my MBA program there. Okay. And my working experience so currently I work in JP Morgan and securities company in China, so which is based in Shanghai for like over 2 years. And before, I worked in Taiwan in Yuanda Securities Company. Yeah, in how can I say that, as a digital financial department, as a product manager. Yeah, so maybe some of you use that app for online trade, like if you're the client of Yuanda. So actually that app was designed by our team. Yeah, okay, so it's my background. And now I'm working in JP Morgan Securities as the function is business support management. So including assistant management, expense management, and business change management is like quite diversified of business support there. Okay, so if you feel like you're interested in China or your career, you can reach out to me after this session. Oh, okay. So that's just me, because I work when I work in Yuanda, we just developed this app and launched this app, and this is a very, very challenging things. And we also did a lot of advertisement on our fintech project during that moment. Yeah. So I was very, very interested in my work, so I decided not quit my job, and also I can handle my MBA life during that moment. Okay, so why MBA? I think for me, these will be the answers, but I think, everyone has your own kind of motivation to apply an MBA here. So for me, when I study in GMBA, I feel like the first thing is a very, very good platform. If you provides you very, very diversified of different kind of training, and it's not only theory, but also very, very practical. Yeah, so I can show you some program later, and also we do connect with a lot of different countries, classmates, and we know a lot of people in the program. And also, I think it's a very, very good way for me to think from another angle, because when you work in your industry for a long time, sometimes you will be limited in the current status. So it's very important to discuss with others and to see what others thinking, and to find, okay, there's always some possibilities there. Okay, so also we do have like a career fair, so which is very, very interesting, because I still work in my company. So I have this kind of career fair, but I can also introduce to my classmates about my company. And also this is a kit program, which called Asia Business Consulting. Okay, and in my batch, we just have this kit program. In Korea and Indonesia, we have a joint program. So they came to Taiwan, and we have this kind of 2-week session to do a business program here. Okay, so very, very interesting. And also we have GMF, it's Global Management Forum in Hangzhou. So yeah, and I think we had a lot of like company visit during that moment, like Hema and Alibaba and the Super Species. So we spent 1 week in China to have this program and tour visit. Yeah, which is very, very good for us to learn a little bit AI and a lot of kind of, like China technology. Okay. And this is also in Hangzhou, Alibaba. So what I would like to say is like GMBA is a very, very good platform. You can choose a variety of elective courses and to meet your goal. So the course is very, very customized. You can choose, depends on your interests. Okay. And the final part is a double degree program in Guanghua IMBA. Yeah, as I mentioned, because I want to explore more after my GMBA life, so I just try to apply. And as we have a lot of the same course, so which can have like exemption, so I think it's also a benefit part that you can only take like 1 year to finish all the courses. And the second year, just like me, I went to Shanghai. During the second year, I just need to finish my thesis. Yeah, so if you have the kind of thoughts about this, you can reach out to me. Yeah, so finally, I think this is a kind of element which is very important for you to think about your MBA life. And I think this is all the things I think will be different after studying GMBA here. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And the fact that so many very busy people like Jennifer are prepared to give up their Saturdays just to share with you and invite you into the GMBA family should help show just how much of a value we place on expanding our networks by connecting with you in this journey. Just before we finish, we would invite you all to please scan the QR code and give us an exit survey, and we will try and use that information to make this experience better for you in the future, well, better for future students. Hopefully some of you will join us. And once you've completed that survey, that will bring an end to our sort of formal proceedings, where we will then move to a light refreshment in the next room, and we'll be able to talk and answer some of your questions on a one-on-one basis. So please first scan the links and please provide us with a few answers to our survey, and then we'll open up the doors and there'll be some snacks outside to come and eat and talk to any of us who are wearing lanyards. We should be able to answer some of your questions, and if not, we should be able to direct you in the right place. So thank you all very much for being here today. We really appreciate it. Bye now.